Just bear with me on this. Okay, so look, you've all come here to this discovery webinar because we made you aware of a life that we lead, that's both Mel and I, in helping other business owners become successful. And as a result, us becoming very successful as well. So I'm going to be sharing with you over the next 40 minutes or so the life that we lead. It'll resonate with some of you. It'll hit a nerve with some where you realize that you can have complete control over your financial destiny and how much you want to make, and also we're going to be showing you the benefits that we experience every day living this life that we lead. But before we do that, I also want to make you aware of some of the challenges that you have with a webinar. Now, I would love to have all of you just open and be able to talk freely with me, but we literally have hundreds of people registered on this webinar right now, and if I opened up the lines like that, we'd absolutely have a gaggle of geese out there, and no one would be able to make sense of anything. So if you have a question, you have a chat box down below where you can put messages. Please feel free to put questions and messages in there. I'm going to go through this information. I'd like you to sort of hold your messages or your questions towards the end, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A. Anything that you have that you wanted to ask me, I'm an open book. I believe in being a straight shooter. I don't hide anything from anyone. I'll tell you all the guts and glory, and you can make up your minds whether this is a thing that you may like to pursue or if it's not. So can I please just get a few of you to let me know that you can hear me okay and that this broadcast is coming through quite clear for you. Just anyone there, just pop some messages in saying, yes, you can hear me. All right, all good, yep. Great, that's what I want to hear. Well, let's get this baby started. All right. Now, the title of this is essentially how to earn a 6- or 7-figure income as a business advisor. That is a pretty powerful, compelling headline. For many of you that know us, you know that we live, eat and breathe marketing, and that we are very good at creating compelling headlines. But let me tell you right here and now that every word of that headline is absolute gospel. We have people here right now currently earning 6- and 7-figure incomes, and I'll be telling you a little bit about some of them as we go through this training. The reality is there's nearly no cap on the sort of money that you can earn. If you want to be earning $1 million a year, quite honestly, with no excess staff or anything like that, you have the ability to do that with what I'm about to share with you. But the reality is it's up to you how much effort you put in and what sort of results that you get. So why is being a business coach, consultant or advisor a great career move? Well, you literally have, I don't know if any of you know about my past, but I've been following Mel for probably 13 years, I guess, somewhere around there. And over that time, using the skills and the tactics and the strategies I've learned by following him, I've built 4 very large multi-million-dollar companies myself. And I became so good in business and in marketing that, 4 years ago I came over to help Mel because he was having some personal challenges. His wife was dying on him. And I came into the organisation and started implementing the strategies and skills that I'd learned by following Mel, and very quickly started growing the business exponentially, to such an extent that I had the great honour of being asked by Mel to become his business partner. So Mel and I now together over the last 4 years have grown Streetsmart 400%, and it's now the largest coaching and education group in Australia. No one else that does what we do of our size, and we're very proud of that. But it all revolves around getting results for clients, because I need you to think about something. If we had been out in the marketplace and shared our knowledge with business owners and the things that we taught them didn't work, would we have become the largest and had the highest growth that you can think of in our organisation? Well, the answer is obviously no. So you've got to come to one conclusion there, and that is that what we teach our clients obviously works. I'm really proud to say that I've been responsible for creating quite a number of millionaires out there in business. Mel has probably created more millionaires and multimillionaires than any other coach that I've ever known. So the reality of being an advisor is that it gives you the ability to earn incredible income as long as you can get results for clients. It helps business owners succeed as well. So think about this, whatever you're doing right now, and I'll talk about me. I used to build some very large air conditioning companies, and my high point was turning on the thermostat and watching the expression on a client's face when they had a boiling hot house and my air conditioning system would cool them down. So that'd be my high, and I used to be okay with that. But now my high is when I go out there and I literally have scores of individuals come up to me and say, Ian, you've changed my life. Ian, I was stuck in my organisation. I wasn't moving forward. You've made me have a sense of freedom and enjoy more income than I ever thought possible. We have people come to us and say, look, quite frankly, we're embarrassed by our wealth. The true story. Now, isn't it a better way to make a living knowing that you can actually transform somebody else's life with just the right knowledge and the right guidance and advice? That's how I get my high. I love it. Now, you also get to travel the world. When you're a business advisor, your reputation does get out there. Recently, I got recognized by LinkedIn as being one of the top 5% of profiles watched on LinkedIn. Now, I don't know how that happened. Quite honestly, I have not put a strategic plan together to build my LinkedIn network, but the reality is, if you are good at what you do and you get results for individuals, they tell others, and quite frankly, there's only one way you can go, and that is up. So I get requests all over the world to go and help individuals improve their organisations. It is really quite humbling when I think of other people seeking my guidance to help them improve what they're doing. And when you travel the world, do you think you travel cattle class when you go travelling the world? No. Trust me, you go first class, you go business class, you stay in the best hotels, you experience the best in that life has to offer, I guess. So, that's the sort of life that you lead when you understand how to help somebody. So it is a great life. You do get treated like a king. When you go into an organisation as a business consultant, you really are given respect and treated accordingly. You do get to work wherever you want, and you're obeyed like a heart surgeon. So when you ask your client to do something, they don't put up these barriers. Most clients will actually say, well, okay, if you say so, Ian, and they will go and implement what you ask them to implement. So that's the life of an advisor. It's a different life to the one I used to lead, and it's a spectacular life. So what I want you to think about, you're all here because we sent some information out to you and we said, look, if you're thinking of perhaps starting a new life, having a change in life perhaps, wanting to control your own income, if you're interested in anything like that, you should be on this discovery webinar to see if this is the right solution for you. And we've said, well, we've got advisors out there now that earn 6- and 7-figure incomes because of the things that we've taught them. We've had numerous MBAs come through our program and say, man, why did I do my MBA and spend those 4 years at university or 5 years at university when I could have just come here and learned these things because you've given us practical steps. So, we've had that sort of scenario, but this is the opportunity that we're offering. And if I want you to have a healthy skepticism as I'm explaining this to you, because it is a big decision. If you actually decide to take on the responsibility to become a business advisor, coach, consultant, however you consider yourself, well, you've got to know 3 things. okay, quite honestly, you've got to be very, very sure that when you go out into the marketplace that you'll have the ability to find a prospect. Because if you can't find anybody that you want to do work with you, then you're going to be barking up the wrong tree because you won't be making money. So you've got to know that if you go out and learn this skill, then you've got to be able to have people knocking on your door saying, look, could you please help me? Another question I really want you to ask yourself is, when they knock on my door, will I be able to convert them into becoming a client of mine? Do I have the ability to take them from being a prospect, someone that's put their hand up and said, well, you know, I do need some help in my business, to converting them to being a client? So if you've got those two nailed, if you can find a prospect and convert them into a client, you've now got an income coming in. But I want you to think, what is the most important thing? Well, from my perspective, what is the most important thing of all that you need to be able to do? Well, that is to help a client. Because if you're out there and you're taking people's money but you're not delivering results, very quickly you're going to get a reputation for yourself. And I'm sad to say that there are a lot of people out there that, quite frankly, should be reported to the Department of Fair Trading, because they are happy to take someone's money but then feel that they don't need to deliver on their promises. And I detest those individuals. So these are three questions. In any opportunity that you're looking for, any change of life or career move that you want to make, you've got to know these type of things. You've got to know, can I find a prospect or lead? Can I get them to be a client? And can I really help that individual? Well, I want you to be also considering this. We've now become the largest organisation in the Southern Hemisphere, and the reason for that I touched on earlier is because the things that we do work. You're going to start seeing how people right now are making fantastic incomes and at the same time helping business owners dramatically improve the results in their lives. That's not make-believe, that's public record. We just had a business school a week ago in Sydney, and advisor after advisor in there were telling me about their success rates and how they're getting clients and how they're so busy that they actually can't take on any more clients. So, you know, that's just the reality. Are there some advisors out there that are not making a heap of money? Yeah, well, I'm not going to pull wool over your eyes. Damn straight there are. And it frustrates the hell out of me. But I've got to tell you the truth. I cannot help everybody. They've got to want to help themselves. One thing I can say to you is that if the individuals do what we ask them to do and are serious about their success, they're going to succeed. That's just the long and the short. I won't send fluff out there and say, look, come here and learn to be an advisor and learn all these strategies and skills that we have and you'll make a fortune. Because we're going to give you all the ability to be able to do that. And as I just said, a vast majority of our advisors are doing just that. But for the life of me, there are just some people in the world that you cannot help. And they reckon that the world owes them a living. And I just have to shake my head and go, well, you know, I've done my best. So who am I? Well, I'll give you a little bit of background, because many of you would know Mel. There's a good chance that some of you do not know me. Now, I'll say I'm a handsome devil. The reason I'll say that is it's my birthday. And I'll tell you another benefit that I just thought about here and now. You see, today, you know the amount of hugs and kisses I get off beautiful women when I go around the countryside? I tell you what, I must get better looking with age, because when I was a teenager, and I could have really taken advantage of that situation, it never happened. But now, a lot of people look up to us for advice. I get so many people giving me great hugs, and I absolutely love it. So it does a bit for my ego. Having said that, I do have a beautiful wife, and I am the luckiest man in the world, so I am always a good boy. But, you know, if you want to think of that as a side benefit, so be it. Who am I? I met Mel when I was absolutely penniless. I challenge just about anybody that thinks that they were poorer than I was when I first met Mel. He took pity on me. I actually sat in on a money expo that he was doing I think it was about the year 2000. He was doing an expo with Paul Clitheroe, and I snuck in the back entrance. I didn't have any money to my name, so I used the tradie entrance because I didn't have $20 to get in. And he noticed me in the back, and he quite honestly, he sent me a very valuable gift that he actually was selling for around $300 at the time, how to turn an ordinary business into an extraordinary one. Well, he sent that to my front doorstep. I did what few people do. I actually studied it, looked at it, treated it seriously and appreciated the gift that was given to me, and I implemented like crazy. I learned the principles of business and success, and the reality is I'm on my 5th multi-million-dollar company right now. That's the result of this little $300 gift that Mal sent me all those years ago, which there's no way I would have ever had hope of paying for myself. So that's how I ended up here talking to you guys today. This figure of 40 million, it's well over that now. It's well in excess of 50 million. I won't tell you the exact number. I actually haven't done a recalc, but it's pretty big. And the reality is that the reason why I have the ability to generate that sort of income or that sort of turnover is simply because I execute and implement the things that I learn. Because it's one thing to have knowledge in your head, to mentally understand something, but until you actually take it and put it into practice, you can't see any results. So that's perhaps one of my better skills, is I'll roll up my sleeves and hook in and give it a go. Now, how did I become a consultant? Well, guys, look, I've been around Mal ever since he started his private coaching program, Platinum. The reality is that gift that he gave me all those years ago enabled me to create enough money to pay $997 a month to join his Platinum group. When I joined his Platinum group, I watched it grow. I made many friends in that environment, and during that time, I'd stand up periodically. If any of you have ever watched any of the old videos, you'd see me standing up in my tradesman gear, in my jeans and my t-shirt, etc. And I'd just be sharing little anecdotes of, oh wow, I just tried this strategy in my business, Mal, and this is what happened. You'd see me in the audience. So as time went on and people saw me succeeding more and more in his environment, this gentleman, Jeremy, came up to me and said, Ian, I really need you to come and have a look at my business. This was up on the Gold Coast. Can't remember the year. It might have been about 2005 or something like that, maybe 2006. So Jeremy approached me and said, I know that you're the right person to help me in my business. And I looked at him and said, mate, you're talking to the wrong guy. Mal's the advisor here. Go and have a chat to Mal and he'll be able to help you. And Jeremy said, no, I want you to help me, Ian. I know you're the one that knows how to turn the business around. And I politely thanked him but said, no, please, look, I don't know how to fix your business or consult to you. Please go and talk to Mal. But the problem was he then came back to me again and he said, Ian, I need you to help me fix my business. I said, didn't you talk to Mal? He said, well, yeah, but it's not right. I know you have the answers for me. Please, I'm only just down the road. Please come and help me. And I said, once again, because I'd never consulted to anyone before, I said, Jeremy, please go have a talk to Mal. He's a top bloke and he will help you. And he went away again. Then he came back to me the third time, and this time he was actually crying. And by the way, he gave me permission to share this. He said, Ian, if you don't come and help me, I'm going to lose my business, my house, and probably my wife. Now, I don't know about you, but it's a pretty hard thing to say no to a guy that's so emotional and is depending on you so much. So I agreed. I said, okay, well, I'll get out there, I'll have a look at your business and see what we can do. I charged $300 for the day. These days, I charge $5,000 a day, and quite honestly, I'm too busy to be able to see the people that want to consult to me for that figure. Now, $300 I charged him. I went down to his business. I had a look in his organisation, and I was shocked. I could not believe the way that he was running his company and the way his staff were taking advantage of him. And so I gave him about a 10-point action list. Said, here, do these 10 things. Make sure you don't take any BS off anybody. These things have to happen, and not in a week or a month or a year. These need to happen tomorrow. You put your head down, your bum up, don't sleep till next year. And he did that, and he implemented those 10 things that I asked him to do. And the result was, I didn't hear from him again for probably about, I don't know, 4 months, maybe 5 months. Could have been 6, I don't know. But he rang me up and he was gushing. He said, Ian, I kid you not, I cannot thank you enough for what you've done to help me in my business. His business has gone from strength to strength. He's now, I haven't talked to him for a long time, but he became one of the leading tile edging companies in the whole of the Gold Coast. His company is called Style Edge, and he just really thanked me profusely for helping him so much. So think about this, guys. I mean, I used to get excited about putting an air conditioner into a roof. But when I had this experience with Jeremy, I said, you know what? It's time for a change. It's time for me to start helping other people, because I've learned so much that I want to start sharing this and getting the same result for other people. So that's the reality. And that's when I decided that I'm going to start helping other people. Now, I started a business called Tradesman Profits then, and started helping tradesmen and build up a pretty nice little consulting business for myself. You know, not having to work that hard, making great money, helping tradesmen improve what they were doing. God knows they needed it. But then a bad thing happened, and that was Mal's wife catching cancer. And what started to happen was the organisation I loved that had helped me so much started to fall apart. And I approached Mel and I said, Mel, would you like me to come over and run your company for 3 or 4 months while you handle this situation with your wife? He agreed, and I hopped on a plane. I went into the company and head down and bum up, and trust me, there's a lot of work to do. After the 3 months, I was ready to head back home, and Mal said, you're not going. He pretty well said, Ian, you're staying. What do we have to do to make you stay? And I said to him, well, you know, there's only one way I'm going to stay. And understand, guys, you know, when you study and you learn the principles that I've learned over the last few years, you can make money literally out of thin air. You can go into any business and transform it and make very, very good returns. And Mel knew this, and he knew what I brought to the table, and so he made me his partner. And so together we've now grown the organisation. It's quadrupled now, not tripled, it's quadrupled. But that's how I ended up coming over here. Don't you love those sound effects? So now, look, I've shared a little bit about me. I hope that that's given you enough confidence to listen to me, let you know the life that I lead now, and many others, I might say, that we've trained. But now I want to let you know about the opportunity that's out there. Here's the facts. 46% of businesses failed in 2009, 2010s. Now that's a 46% increase upon the previous year. So business failures, 46%. Now then the next year, I had a look at the stats, and it's another 48% increase on 2010. That's bloomin' scary, guys. Now, why do you think that is? Well, it's pretty straightforward. The old ways of doing business, they're not as effective anymore. You've got to have new tools in your toolbox. You've got to stay cutting edge. You've got to know what's going on. And those that do not will pay the ultimate price and go out of business. It's a sad fact, but here's the thing. Many of them out there don't know that this whole world is changing, as hard as it is to believe. And so, you know, I've taken it as part of my responsibility to get the word out to them that they need to start taking action. Only 44% of businesses are expecting to expand their business in the next year. And 80% of the business owners don't set goals. Now, I've got a lot of people on this line right now listening to this webinar. And the truth is that I can tell you statistically, out of everybody there, sitting down and listening to this, very few of you have written goals of what you want to achieve. It's just statistical. There's a study that was done It's written by Mackay, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. Now, what happened was they did a survey of these guys doing an MBA at Harvard, and Harvard's like the ultimate business school in the world. All of you know Harvard. So they went to this room, these people are doing the MBAs, and these are the smartest cookies on the planet, mind you, and they asked them, they said, right, who's writing down goals right now? Who's actually writing down goals as to what they're going to be achieving? And they took the stats, and what they found was that only 3% of people wrote down written goals so that they had clarity on what they wanted to achieve. So right now I can statistically say that there's a good chance only 3% of all of you listening here have written goals. But they went back to these Harvard people 10 years later and had a look at the sort of money they were earning. And when they went back, the guys that didn't have any goals were earning probably around about $150,000 a year. The guys that had the goals mentally in their head, but they hadn't written them down and just sort of mentally had goals for themselves, they were earning twice the amount of the people that had no goals. But for that 3% of people that had clear written goals and studied those plans and studied those actions that they put down, were earning 10 times as much as the individuals that had no goals. So they were earning in equivalent $1.5 million when the others were earning $150,000. That is why it's so critical to have goals, and 80% of business owners out there don't set any goals at all. Okay, and that's being overly generous, I would say. So any of you that know me know I'm a great believer in goal setting. I told Mel 4 years ago exactly where Streetsmart would be today, and I'm very proud to say that we've achieved that and more. But we wouldn't have done it if we didn't have those clear, precise goals and strategies and tactics to make it a reality. But that's another story. I'm not here to teach you any of our processes at the moment, but trust me, goal setting is one of them. Here's some more information for you. 81% of businesses out there plan to retire in the next 10 years. Now, you think about all of the business owners that you know. How many of them do you think have structured their business for sale right now? Not many of them, I can tell you that. Not many of the businesses out there have got an organisation they could easily put on the market and sell because it's been structured that way. But if you've got 81% of Aussie businesses going to retire in the next 10 years, that means there's going to be a massive glut of businesses coming up for sale. Now, if you're going to sell that business and you haven't put any structures in place to sell it, what are your chances of getting a decent price for it? Well, pretty poor. And I want you to understand, here's the opportunity, because every business should be structuring their business ready for sale, and yet hardly any of them do. And when they're made aware of this, the light bulb goes on for them. You go, oh, holy crap, what do I have to do? So 75% of them have no exit strategy as well. So, you know, they just think that they're going to be able to work forever. But here's the harsh reality. Well, here's the harsh marsh reality, if you like. Here's my belief, and I'm no financial planner and I'm not giving you financial advice, but I believe if you have not got at least $2 million locked away, safe and sound, that you can live off the interest on for your retirement, you're going to be struggling. Because, you know, if you put it away safely, you're only going to make about 5%. You know, so that's only $100,000 a year. That's, I don't know, that's a pretty average sort of retirement. And trust me, right now, there is an individual on the planet, right here, right now. He might only be 3 or 4 years old, but that individual will live to about 150 years old. How do I know that? Well, a lot of my friends are in research. They do stem cell technology. I've got a lot of friends that are billionaires. Trust me, billionaires know people that multimillionaires don't know. Multimillionaires know people that millionaires don't know. And millionaires know people that non-millionaires don't know. And so I know all of them, and here's the reality: most of them expect to be living to at least 120. Now, that magic pill that helps them get there, that pill's not going to be cheap. And don't think the government's going to be there looking after you and holding your hand as you get older and older and find it harder and harder to make a living. So I urge each and every one of you, or no, I can't give you advice, but that's the advice I've taken for myself. So I know I'm safe and secure. I want to know that each and every one of you are as well. So that's my harsh reality. But here's the reality out there is that many of the business owners need to have a plan and need to put their head down now so that they can have that security for their future. Because many of us will live to 90 or 100 years old. You know, they're already on the verge of curing cancer. So, yeah, that's the reality. So, with technology changing and prospects being more sophisticated, being able to go into Google, knowing anything that they want to know about anything, and having a lot higher expectations of businesses, there's a massive demand for people to up their game, for business owners to actually get into groove and start handling this change in psyche. And quite honestly, there's such a massive need out there that there's no way, even if I could train 1,000 of you, we still would not scratch the surface. I'm going to show you that in a second. We quite honestly can't keep up. You know, even though we get remunerated extremely well for what we do, we've also got to have a life. Mel and I do have a nice life, and we protect that and guard that. That's part of the reason why I created the advisor program, so we can leverage ourselves and help other people. To give you an idea, in 2009 there were 1,960,000 businesses in Australia. Now that makes up 96% of all business. Okay, small business is the majority of business in Australia. Now I checked out the yellow pages, and there were only 1,956 listings there. Okay, 1,956 listings. Now, yes, some consultants may have 10, 15 or 20 consultants in their firm, but that wouldn't be many of them. And by the way, out of all of those listings there, only probably 20 or 30% of them will probably be worth their weight in salt, if you like. That's generally the rule, the old 80-20 rule. So there's very few consultants out there to handle nearly 2 million businesses. That works out to about 1,000 businesses per consultant. 1,000 businesses per consultant. That is huge. So, here's the reality. If you have 6 clients that you're working with, you're generating anywhere between, if you manage between 6 to 10 businesses, you're generating anywhere between $300,000 and $1 million per annum for yourself. That's it. That's all you can handle to do the job correctly. With what we teach you, we show you how to get those 6 clients. We show you how to generate that $250,000 a year, working, you know, probably 20 hours, 30 hours with these clients. And if you put your head down and your bum up and you want to work with 10 or 11 clients, well, that's $1 million a year for you. So there's no way any individual consultant can handle 1,000 business owners. So I hope you're starting to get an idea of the massive demand that's out there right now, and how Streetsmart just, you know, still, doesn't matter how big we get, could only scratch the surface. Now, what we did, see, I said to Mel, look, please, you know, there's only 2 of us. When Streetsmart started getting on its feet and really moving forward again, and Mel got that sparkle in his eye, and you know, I've always had a sparkle in my eye, I guess. Then when we started moving forward, there was massive demand on our time, and we're great believers in leverage. So I said, Mel, could I please create an advisor program? I'll prove to you that other people can get the same sort of results for business owners that we get. Because understand, firstly, it was a big leap of faith for Mel to trust his clients to me when he was sort of out of commission. And I never took that lightly. So I started getting spectacular results for the clients that Mel trusted me with. And then, but it was a mechanical process that I was following to get those results. So now I said, Mel, please let me put an advisor program together. I want to put together all of the information I've learned from you over the years. I want to put it into a structured system. I want to make sure that anyone can follow this so that we can actually train other business advisors to help more of our clients so that we can grow this company. Otherwise, we won't be able to grow it to a structured organisation. And so he gave me that permission. So to create that product, I knew that people would have to be able to create an income at will. I knew that most people are not born salespeople. Okay, so I knew that if we were going to be able to get them to help clients, that we'd need to have a non-selling conversion system. And I also knew that they had to have a step-by-step, paint-by-numbers way to transform any business. They were the three things I knew I had to accomplish with the program that I wanted to put together. So the result of that are the sort of people that you see before you here now, that are generating great income. There's many more to add to this, by the way. But the knowledge that they learned, the principles that I taught them in the advisor training, helped them start to get the sort of income that they wanted to have in their lives. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't make-believe, ladies and gentlemen. This is reality. At the last advisor training that I did, I want to put a hello out to Lorraine and Robert. I said, right, the record for someone going out, leaving my training, and getting a client is 7 days. If you can beat that, I'm going to give you a Mont Blanc pen. And lo and behold, Lorraine and Robert got their first client within 5 days. They got their second client within 10 days. I think they've got 4 clients or 5 clients now. They've only been doing this for a few months, okay? A few months. So that gives you an idea of the processes and just how structured it is. And I'm very, very proud to know that I had something to do with that. So I said right at the beginning that you had to ask yourself some very important questions when you're actually thinking of becoming an advisor. One, okay, well, right, if I think this is the right life for me, if I want to get involved, if I want to become an advisor, will I be able to have people, prospects that I'll be able to convert? So how do I find a client? Well, we've developed 19 of the most powerful lead generation systems on the planet. I kid you not, using just 2 or 3 of these processes will give you more leads than you could ever hope to generate and work with yourself. These 19 lead generation systems, when they're implemented, quite honestly create a tidal wave for you. To give you a bit of an indication, I was just talking with Glenn Rothwell today. Now, he only used one of the strategies. He did a mail out to a list. I told him what to expect from that mail out. He did what I asked him to do. And now he actually can't take on any more clients because he's actually doing this part-time. So he's got a number of clients that he works with after his own work that he does full-time. So he gets great income from that. He also looks after a number of our Streetsmart clients for us and coaches them, which he does a great job on. So he's getting a great income by following that, but he had to do so little to get those clients. So finding a client, there is no way that you won't be able to get a prospect if you implement what we ask you to. I mean, really, if I give you these 19 lead generation systems and you don't take the step and go out there and launch them and use them, are they going to get you prospects? Well, no. And I need to say that, okay? The only way it's going to work is if you use what I teach you to do. I can't do your push-ups for you, ladies and gentlemen, but I can tell you if you follow and implement these strategies, you've never seen anything like it. It is so powerful, it even amazes us. So then after you've got your prospects coming in, then can you convert the client? Well, once again, I've developed a process that is so powerful that it actually creates around about a 70% conversion rate when you implement it the way that I ask you to. Now, are there some people that try and do it their own way? Yes, and many times actually pay the price. I'm saying if we've got a perfect system that works so well, then follow that system. And those people that do follow that system, the later they end up with clients. It's as simple as that. So that's the conversion system. Now, to give you an idea of the sort of effort that you need to put in to create a great income for yourself, I've just done a little calculation here. This calculation is based on you getting just 6 clients that you're working with. You'll then charge them $3,000 a month for your knowledge, for your skill, for your abilities that we teach you. Say you work with each client for 4 hours a week. So that's 24 hours a week. So if you're working 24 hours a week and they're each paying you $3,000 a month, you're generating $180,000 a year just from that business, okay, just from those 6 clients. Now, imagine that the turnover of each of these 6 clients is $5 million. So each client is doing $5 million in turnover. You've got 6 of them. So that means 6 5s are 30. The total turnover of all of those businesses you're working with is $30 million. If you just did a 10% improvement in their organization, if you achieved just a 10% improvement in their company over the year, that means a $3 million improvement on $30 million. So 10% of $30 million is $3 million. Now, what you also get, what I teach you how to do, what I give you the agreements, the processes, the documentation for, is to actually have a contingency you decide what the rate is. I'm going to say 3% here. But see, if you help someone become more successful and you're helping them generate massive improvements in their business, then it's only fair for you to share in that improvement. And this is where the passive income comes in. So I've used 3% as an example. I've had 3%, I've had 5%, I've had 1%. It just depends on the client. So if we said 3%, that's $90,000 that you get in addition to your $180,000 that you earned. $270,000 working part-time, 24 hours a week, no staff, no headaches, and you make your money solving other people's problems instead of your own. Isn't that great? And we love it. And as I said earlier, that's not make-believe, that's just reality, and it's happening over and over again. Now, the third question I wanted you to ask yourself was, would you be able to help your clients get results? Will you be able to implement change and help them achieve change in their businesses? Well, if you can follow directions, and if you can go step 1, step 2, step 3 of our business improvement process that we've pulled together, you will create miracles in businesses. There's no way that you can't. The only challenge you will have is, just like sometimes I get a bit disappointed when advisors I train don't implement all of the strategies I give them and don't reach their potential, you have to have the ability to then ensure that your client will implement these strategies as well. And we teach you how to make that happen. We show you the processes so that you keep track and hold your client accountable. So quite honestly, they have no option but to implement the strategies that you ask them to implement. It's all part of the training. So they're the 3 serious questions that I wanted you to think about. I've given you the answers to those 3 questions. And what you're seeing in front of you right now is, quite honestly, spectacular software that literally takes you through a step-by-step question and answer process, telling the client exactly what you do with them so that they can achieve the results that they achieve. What you're seeing in front of you is a report that this software pulls out. When you answer the questions, like 100 questions or whatever, this report will come out and say, here you go, you do step 1, step 2, step 3. One more slide there. I'm going to go back because that was so impressive. No, I'm not, because my computer's playing up on me. I better not push my luck. Here we go. All right. See this this report here. This report here takes you through every process that you need to follow to get real results for your clients. Okay. Now, what you're seeing here, see this gentleman, Scott Dunbar? He actually came down and saw me a few weeks ago. He said, Ian, you mongrel, I've got so much work now, I just can't keep up with it. I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle all of the work that I've got coming into my business. That's his problem. And that's the ability that we have to help individuals, that you have to help individuals. The guy that helped this guy a lot is one of the advisors I trained, Scott Kilpatrick. Scott now has one of the largest building companies in Australia, Affordable Quality Homes. I'll tell you now, there's no finer gentleman than Scott Kilpatrick. He astounds me. He won Marketer of the Year last year. When he came to us, he had some challenges in his business. But he did the advisor training, he learned the skill sets that we taught him, and he implemented them in his own company, and now he's the largest builder in the whole of Rockhampton. So that's not too shabby. So, guys, look, I've given you a bit of background, okay, on what we do, who we are, why we can share and show you this information with confidence. Now I want you to be asking yourself, is this right for you? The reality is we don't accept everybody into the advisor program. We are very selective because we protect our reputation. Streetsmart is so close. It's like a third child to me. I have 2 children, and this is my 3rd baby. And as any parent would do, you protect your children. So we want serious people that are absolutely committed, not only to their own success, but to the business owners that they're going to be helping. If you think the idea of going out there and helping business owners improve their results and then you getting a great reward for that is a good idea, then I want to be talking to you. But I do want you to have experience. I need you to have management experience or business experience so that you have a foundation to build on. For someone to come from a cold start and not have any idea of business at all or managing people, that's a tough ask. Could they do it using our system? Well, yes, they can. I have no doubt of that. But it is a totally different world. So one of the things that I need to know is that you have been involved in management of some sort, or you've owned your own business, been in a high level where you've had to be making some decisions. Because that's what this is all about, making the right decisions. So if that is you, and yes, does this sound like Ian saying, look, please don't apply if it's not right for you? Well, it's true. I want people who are serious and committed to putting in 200% to help business owners out there and also to help yourselves. I kid you not, I've been in many industries and I've never seen anything that compares to this. If you feel you have the right stuff, I do want you to talk to me. And we'll decide, I'll decide whether I feel you are right for this program or not, and you'll decide whether I'm right for you or not. But I do need you to think about that. This is Matt Bichelle. Matt Bichelle makes 7 figures now. Yeah, I think in this testimonial he says he did one strategy, got a client that paid for his whole program within a few months. So that's the reality and the power of this. Matt Bichelle, understand, is a very, very big implementer. He's a real mover and shaker. He doesn't waste time. He says, well, that seems to work for someone else. I'll model that. I'll do that. And then he got great results by doing that. So look, that's me sharing what I've got to say. I want to invite you all to the next training. Now, the date on that is incorrect. Damn it. Okay. Please ignore that date there. The date is actually the 9th until the 12th of March is the next advisor training that I'm going to be doing. It is us being locked away for 4 days at the Pines in the Gold Coast. If any of you love golfing, it's a world champion golf course there as well. But I'll be spending 4 days giving you massive, intensive training into how to become an effective consultant. But on top of that, I do an additional 16 days of training per annum with all of you, showing you how to be the very best that you can be, how you can learn the business skills that I've developed over time, that Mal's developed, and you'll join. I've only trained around 23 advisors, okay, to date, because, as I said, I am very selective. Those 23 advisors, they come in, we have a blast, and every 3 months we get together and really, really sort of push each other to the limits. You also receive our complete resource library. Now, they're the systems that I was talking about and I shared with you. Those systems are literally a paint-by-numbers process to success. And the software that we're going to give to you is second to none. In fact, we're just on the verge of becoming a registered training organisation because of the power of all of the systems and processes that we've developed. So we're very excited about that. I've actually just let the cat out of the bag. I didn't mean to do that, but there you go. The reality is we're very close to that point as well. So here's the thing. With what we do, we literally get to go anywhere, make any sort of money that we determine we want to make. We literally work anywhere. I've worked and helped clients while I've been in France, while I've been in Germany, while I've been in America, while I've been at Disney World. You name it. I've been working and I've been helping clients and I've been generating money while I'm going out and doing what I want to do. This, if you like, career, vocation, actually, gives you absolute freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. I'll just break down what we actually provide for you so you really get a glimpse of the program. So it is that 4-day intensive program that I told you about. We were locked away for 4 days at the Pines. We give you our resource library where you get all the information so you learn how to do good copywriting. We give you the marketing skills. We give you the ads. We give you the processes. We show you how you implement everything that we teach you there. We teach you our client acquisition system. I kid you not, it's one of the most powerful on the planet. In fact, I've never seen anything that comes close to it. So these lead generation systems that I share with you, I did just quickly mention to you Glenn Rothwell and how he just implemented one strategy. Lorraine and Brooks and Robert Duncan, I think they implemented 2 strategies. Before they knew it, they've now got numerous clients and they're going head down and backside up. So, you know, that's the reality. The conversion system, you actually don't sell. I teach you not to sell. Right now, I hope you don't think I'm selling to you. What I'm doing is that I want to reveal to you the life that I lead, the life that Mel leads, the life that many of my advisors lead right now. And then I want you to come to a conclusion. Hey, you know, this is great. I love the idea of this. I want to know more. Or no, this is not right for me and I'll find some other opportunity. But that's exactly the same principle that I teach you in this process so that you're not trying to flog yourself knocking on doors saying, please use me, I'll double or triple your business, you know. That's not the way. That's not the Streetsmart way. You want people coming to you, knocking on your door and saying, look, we've heard about you, we've heard about what you know, and we'd really like you to help us in our business. So that's the sort of strategies that we teach you to develop. And we give you a powerful conversion tool. We refer to it as the Competitive Intelligence Report. Streetsmart manual sales letters, the software, more software, the results system. So these are how you get results for your clients. So we show you how to generate more leads. We give you 100 ways to generate leads for clients. 63 ways to improve their conversions, 53 ways to increase the size of a customer transaction. There's no end to it. It just goes, it's just so powerful. And a total blueprint that actually steps you through everything you need to do to be successful in this business. I do regular webinars to keep you up to date with your training. I really can't do more than I do because I want to make sure that you succeed. I'm as committed to your success, quite honestly, as you are. That's if you talk to any of our advisors, they would tell you the same thing. If any of them have a challenge, they each get my personal phone number, and I don't hand that out, and I help them through any challenges that they have. Now, here's the kicker. See Streetsmart Business School? I don't know if any of you have been to Streetsmart Business School. We just finished the last business school, and many were saying it was the best ever. We're so proud of that environment. That's what I fought tooth and nail not to let disappear when I came over 4 years ago. You get 2 years free membership to business school as part of your advisor program. Our clients pay $8,000 a year just for that now. That's the reality. You come together. That's part of that 16 days of training that I was telling you about. And we also have 1 day totally dedicated to upskilling your advisor skills. All right. Now, I think you're getting the idea of what I've packed into this program. Conservatively, it's valued at $167,299. That's conservatively. That's really so underpriced it's not funny. So here's the thing. You might be thinking, what is this whole process worth? What is my investment? Well, it's $15,000 and it's $1,875 a month for 24 months. So that's what probably 90% of the advisors do. Or your other option is that you can cop a $7,000 break and you can pay in one go, and that's $53,000 for the advisor training. Understanding that when you implement the things that I teach you and you actually go out there and get serious about this career, you literally can easily make a 6 or 7 figure income for yourself. No, I can't do it for you. You do have to do some work. But if you're on this call, then you're sensible enough to realize that, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And as I said earlier, I detest those individuals. I know so many billionaires, multimillionaires, millionaires, you name it. There is not one that I know that does not put in massive effort in any of their organisations to get it off the ground and get it moving. You know, Joe Sugarman, Ted Nicholas, you name them. These individuals, they've built billion-dollar companies, but they had to work their backside off to actually get the momentum to build their business. So if you want to commit to 90 days of massive action, you will not believe the results. You know, you will deserve that 6 or 7 figure income. Now, here's the thing. We always guarantee what we do. We know the power of this, and we want this to be right for you, and we want it to be right for us. So what we do is I invite the people that become part of this program to the advisor training. I give you full access to all of the material, all of the marketing. You will see it all. I won't hide anything on you. You'll see all our ads. You will go through 1 day of the 4-day training. You will see all the software. You'll see all the processes. You can then make up your mind if you feel that you can make a great career and vocation out of this. If you do, that's great. At the end of the day, we shake hands and I get you to commit to say, yes, I'm in, boots and all. If you don't, you say to me privately at the end of the day, look, this isn't for me. I made a mistake. And if that's the case, I just hand you back your deposit. You don't get to keep any of the material or the software or anything like that, and we part as friends. I can't be any fairer than that. Now, here's the reality. No one has ever taken me up on this offer because when they see this material, they know how powerful it is. It really is a no-brainer for those that are serious about getting involved in this sort of world. The only person that I gave their money back was a person that I actually asked to leave the program because I didn't think they had the right attributes that I was looking for. So, you know, that's the reality. These are just a fraction of the people that have kicked goals for us. Very, very proud of each and every one of them. We're looking for advisors right now for the training that's coming up from the 9th until the 12th of March. If this is appealing to you, what I want to do, I'm going to put a link. The link that you see here. Oh, wait on, but wait, there's more. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that? All right, here's the thing. For those of you that join and become part of our advisor program, I will provide you your first 5 leads with no catches at all, so that you actually have 5 people to go and talk to yourself. I'll also create a website for you so that people can go to your website and check you out and see what you can do to help them. On top of that, I'm going to be giving you your positioning tools so that you can hit the road running. Okay, very, very powerful material. Now with these positioning tools, if you can imagine going and seeing a client being armed with these weapons, you're going to have instant credibility with the clients or the prospects that you're approaching. So we create all of these for you. Okay. Now, on top of that, I don't know if you've ever thought of writing your own book, but we give you the rights to white label one of our books, Customers for Life. It's very, very powerful. And if you go and see a client and you've got a book that, I kid you not, the content in there is spectacular, you hand that book to them as a published author, your credibility is going to explode instantly. So we give all that to you. So here's the guarantee. If you use and implement our entire system as described for 2 years and don't generate at least twice the amount of money that you've invested, I'll refund every cent to you. That's the reality. But I kid you not, you've got to show me that you are implementing everything that I'm asking you to implement, because this really isn't a guarantee. There is no human way possible that you could not generate double what you invest with us if you actually put what we ask into action. Okay? So if you do come to me after 2 years and say, well, I want my money back, I'm going to be asking you, okay, you show me all the prospecting you've done. You show me all the leads. You show me the amount of people you've talked to. You show me the marketing you've done. Okay? And, you know, if you can't show me that, then obviously I can't give you your money back. But if you can show me your money, that you've done that, I will happily give you your money back. I can't get any better than that. So there's really a double guarantee. The first one is you come on the first day, you see everything that we have. If you don't like it, you come and see me at the end of the day, say, I want my money back. I'll say, great. I'll just make sure that you haven't got any of our resources, and I'll EFT your money back to you the next day. And the second one is implement what I ask you to implement. If you do, man, you'll have generated more income than you ever thought possible without having the headaches of the challenges of a lot of traditional businesses with staff and all the other things, infrastructure, office spaces, because you can work from home in this business. Many times, most of my consults are done in 5-star hotels where I stay at the Sofitel or the Sheraton or the Hilton. That's where I see a lot of my clients. So, guys, I don't know if this has appealed to you or not. I'm going to open up to Q&A in a second. But what I'm also going to do is get you to, I want to copy this link if I can work out how to do it. Just bear with me a second. I'm going to put this into the chat so that you can click on this link and you can register to talk to me about the possibility of becoming a Streetsmart business advisor. If what I've said to you really resonates, I've put this link in there. All you need to do is click on that link in the chat box and you'll be able to register. You'll be able to have a chat to me. We'll see if it's right for you and I, and then I can see you at the Pines. So while you've got that link there, I'm going to open this up to question and answer now. I'll do it one at a time. So let me see if I can bring this out. There is a way. There we go. Make this bigger. Great. So has anyone got any questions at all for me on what I've covered at all? Just type your question in and I'll be answering it for you. I should learn to put Jeopardy music into this thing as well while I'm waiting for people to type in. I can hum it to you if you like. Is your software Mac compatible? I'd like to say yes, but the reality is no. Okay, it doesn't work on Mac. It only works on PC. A PC costs you $700, guys, so it's not an obstacle to you. Who was that? So I'll actually say the name as well, I guess. Who have we got here? Let me see. Is your software compatible? So true, Ian. How much? Ken K. So as I said earlier, the program is $60,000 if we finance you. So that's a $15,000 deposit and then $1,875 a month for 2 years. Okay, so we're willing to finance you for that. Alternatively, you can pay in one go and it's $53,000. Oh, Kerry's just hopped on. I'm going to be seeing you, Kerry, at the Royal Pines. Thank you. Kerry's just wished me a happy birthday. That's very nice of you. So I got a feeling my wife's got something in store for me. Is all the software online? No. Understand this intellectual property is worth a fortune, so it's not out there for the general public. It's only our inner sanctum that get to have access to this material, guys. So no, I can't have it online there because it'll just go out into the ether. It is highly controlled. So I hope that answers. That's Kerry's question again. Now, Kerry, I just make sure the dates, because it was a date change. It's from the 9th to the 12th Just please make sure that your dates are correct on that. Does anybody else have any questions at all? How many times a year do you run the 4-day intensive? I'm considering running this another 3 times this year. I am considering it. I don't know if I will. It just depends because, as I said, I'm away from my family a lot. So, I've got it penciled in to run another advisor training in around about 3 months' time. I can't guarantee that. Can you advise on industries you have not been trained in? Tony Malacco just raised a very good point. Now, Tony, here's one simple fact for you, and that is that all businesses, even though they seem different, are really the same. Okay, the reality is that it doesn't matter. We've helped the state of Western Australia, the tourism in Western Australia. I've worked with Toyota. I've worked with the smallest contractor. You name it, I've done it. I've worked with some of the largest builders in Australia, and the principles are always the same. It's only the trimmings that are different. You think about it. Every company out there in existence needs leads, needs to generate leads into their business. They all need to know how to convert those leads. They all need to know how to have the right systems in place to keep their promises. So these principles are universal. So you do not need to have training in individual industries. In fact, sometimes it's better not to. Okay. Do you target businesses of a minimum size and under a maximum size? Yes, Ken, we do. We have a very specific target market that we teach you to hone in on, and that gives you the best bang for your buck. Maria, I'm disappointed that you've got something else on. I'd recommend that you cancel it. Maria would love to get involved for this training, but she's got other training happening, so she's overcommitted. But quite honestly, anyone that implements this, I have changed a number of people's lives just from the last training a few months ago. Are the 5 bonus clients prospects or paying clients? No, I'm going to give you 5 leads, Zeke. So it's up to you to convert those leads, but I will provide 5 leads in business that are interested in talking to you in some way, shape or form. From there, you've got to maximize that. Okay, so no, I'm not going to just hand over a straight paying client. Although what we do, if you do have the right stuff, is we ask you if you would like to work with some of our high-end clients, and we get you to coach them. Now, that's not a promise to you, but I'll tell you at least 40% of my advisors that I've trained have actually been coaching or are coaching our own Streetsmart clients. What happens after 2 years, Tom says? Tom says, are there ongoing fees, loss of access to materials, etc.? Yes and no. What we want you to do is stay part of our environment of Streetsmart. So from that perspective, and why wouldn't you, we'd like you to stay a member with us after 2 years. Now that is only, it's actually half price now. It's a nominal fee. It's probably something like $400 a month or something like that to stay in our environment. But having said that, your resources are all yours to utilise, so we don't take them off you, Tom. There is a subscription fee for the fancy software, ladies and gentlemen. We cover that cost for the first 12 months for you. After that, you decide whether you want to maintain that software or not, and that's a nominal cost for that software. That is not a critical component, but your resources are yours, so we don't take that off you. So after that 2 years, you either decide to stay part of our environment or you go your own way. It's totally up to you. David Norris says, I'm in healthcare. Does this mean I have to move to a new industry focus? Well, no. Healthcare is a fantastic niche. So you can work in healthcare or you can take another niche. It's totally up to you. But this material, this information works perfectly, especially in the healthcare industry. So no, you wouldn't need to move to a new industry. Does Streetsmart take a percentage of any contingency on top of the $60,000? Good question, Donna. I'd like to. I'm open to charity. So if you'd like to donate because we've shared so much with you, that'd be great. But no, you're actually investing in your own business. So you are out there and you're working with these clients. Unless they are a Streetsmart client and we've given you a lead to look after for us, and that's a whole different story. Your clients and your money is all yours. We don't want any part of it. What you're paying for is the education and for the intellectual property that we're going to teach you over those 4 days, and then the 2 years of business school that you're entitled to come to. But apart from that, Donna, we don't want your money. You go out there and make as much as you can. Okay. Are there any other questions out there at all? Is anyone having any challenges clicking on that link? I hope it was all self-explanatory for you to register on that link. Looks like everybody's good there. With you having... Oh, wait a second. Great, works just fine. Tony, with you having such a strong belief of earning, do you have a payment plan where you simply take a share in commissions? Tony, that'd be nice, but here's the reality, and it just happened to me again about 2 months ago. You think I'd learn. The problem is skin in the game, okay? When somebody gives you something for nothing, it's not appreciated. You don't have the commitment to make it work. And the reality is we don't need the headache to hope that it would work. We've literally spent millions and millions of our own dollars, literally, that's not a made-up number, pulling all of these strategies, tactics, systems together so that you can benefit from it. So you need to actually invest in yourself and show that you've got the commitment to make this work. Because we don't know whether you're made of the right stuff or not. As I said to you, I'd love to say every advisor I've trained has hit a home run. I can say that everybody that's implemented what I've asked them to implement has hit a home run, but there's also that percentage that don't. So no, Tony, I'd love to say, yes, look, go out there and we'll share in the commissions, but that's not available. Maria says, my friends say I make a good manager, and one of the directors on our board at work has suggested I nominate for a scholarship as general manager. Well, I'd like to be talking to you, Maria. All I want to make sure of is that you have an understanding of business. Now, if you've been in the banking industry, then you do have an understanding, and you've had to be talking and directing other individuals. So that's the reality. And so, yes, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love you to put your application in and see if we are right for each other, Maria. Kerry, do I still need... No, you're already in the system, Kerry. I will make sure that you'll get an email with all of the details of where to go and what to do. So I'll make sure that gets out to you next week, okay? That's Kerry Bolton. Tony, Tony says that he's not able to register. Tony, what I'll do is, can you please just type in your email address? I'll get my office to contact you, and we'll be able to have a chat with you. We'll make an appointment and have a chat with you. So just text in your, put in the chat box your contact details, and I'll make sure that we follow you up on that. I think what's probably happened is a large number of people have gone onto the site, and too many people at one time have done it, Tony, and that's the challenge that you've got there. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait a second. There's another one here from, oh, yeah, Maria. Finance Admin Manager. This is Maria again. Well, now Maria's asked a question here, okay? So, and it says, I won't give the last name, I'll just read this out. It says, I'm not in the banking industry. I'm a Westpac Bank manager on our board, a finance admin manager at Bris 31 Queensland Community TV station. I just don't know how I can integrate this into my now very busy life and then the transition over to the new career. I'm a single mum. Now, firstly, Maria, I take my hat off to you. You have a massive challenge on your hands there, being a single mum and handling a job. But I want to ask you a question, Maria. How different would your life be if you did only have to work 25, 30 hours a week, and you choose the hours that you work, and you are earning $250,000 or $200,000 or $150,000, whatever it is, by working in that time frame? When you have complete control over what you do, you have no one telling you what to do, and you have complete control over the income that you make. See, life's full of decisions. You know, I decided many, many years ago that I would follow Mal to the letter. And here's the reality. The decisions have consequences. Everyone on this call just about is exactly where they deserve to be in life. There are one or two exceptions to that statement, but very few. See, going way back when I had no money, and I mean no money, and I was married to my wife, and I discovered Mal, and Mal was offering solutions to problems that I was having in business. He was showing us ways to create leads, etc. He wasn't giving those pieces of information away for free. In fact, they actually cost a lot of money. But I believed in Mal and what he was saying, and I purchased those products. And there were two results that occurred. Firstly, I did spend an awful lot of time sleeping on the lounge in my house. I kid you not, because my wife was getting so upset with me investing in all these things that Mal was saying I should have. I was saying, but it's Mal, honey, it's Mal. And my wife, obviously she didn't know what I was learning. She had a hard time believing it, but I needed to believe in myself. And so I did sleep on the lounge. And yes, my sex life did reduce by about 30% because of the things I invested in following Mal. But they were my decisions. And I want you to think about this. Those decisions that I made got me to where I am today. If I had have listened to my wife, who I love with every ounce of my being, there is no way I would have the life that I have today. Was it an easy decision? Hell no. This is the most special woman in my life, and I'm risking my relationship because I knew what it would do for our financial future. Another choice that I made, and this is the most important one, and the second way that Mal helped me, and I'll share this with you. You see, the first company I built, it was one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia. I'm afraid I built the company. It was very successful. It was making a heap of money. I was as successful as you could imagine, buy anything I want to buy, do anything I want to do. But I had the rug pulled out from underneath me because I trusted my staff implicitly, and I refused to believe that anyone would steal from me. So in a very short period of time, I went from being extremely wealthy to bankrupt. That's the reality. Now, I went to Mal. I saw Mal in Perth, and I saw him with the intention of it being the last time, simply to apologise because he helped me build such a massive business. When I saw him, I told him, I said, Mal, look, thank you for everything you've taught me. I'm sorry I've let you down. These are my exact words, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go to Byron Bay. I'm going to lie on the beach, and I'm going to look at naked women. That was it. You know, I lost all my self-control. Some of you may be shocked right now with what I've just said. Get over it. I'm trying to give you a very important lesson. And because I was just about to give up on everything. And Mal said a statement that changed my life again. He said, well, Ian, if that's what you're going to do, if you're going to kill your brain cells and get drunk and go up to Byron and just waste your life, then this is probably the last time we'll ever talk. But you've just had a $10 million education. You still know how you achieved that company in the first place, don't you? And I said, yes. He said, well, wake up to yourself, Ian. Get out there. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. And if you do that, I'll do everything I can to help you grow another organisation. Now, I took the second option, obviously, and I went on to grow another now 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. Okay? But do you think how easy it would have been for me to take that first option, get as drunk as I could and live in oblivion for a while because my life was destroyed? So just think about this, guys, with your decisions, where they take you. You know, no one would have blamed me. You know, a lot of people that go bankrupt just give up and they lose all confidence and they think that they're a failure. Well, you know, it was my responsibility that I went bankrupt. And I tell you that up front. I want you to know who you're working with. I don't hide anything with the people I work with. But if I had have taken that first decision, my life today would just be a very, very average life. If I'm even still here, I probably would have drunk myself to death. But I didn't. So I don't know if that helps or not. Okay, but that's the reality. That's what happened to me. You've all got decisions to make. This could be the life-changing decision for you. Maybe it's not. But don't let fear stop you. Make logical decisions on what you want your life to be, and then just take practical steps to make that happen. If you feel that you've got confidence in me guiding you in that path, well, I'm more than happy to help you. If you don't, well, you know, that's the right decision for you as well. So Axel says, tried that when my old business partner stole $26,500 from me, and I'm not that keen to get that happen again. I know it's horrible, mate. You know, I'd love to say thank you, to trust everybody, but in this life you can't. Karen's asked, how many people do you normally train at the 4-day intensive? I never have more than 15 people in the training. Right now I already have, I think, around about 5 people in there. And the reason for that, even though I could make it a lot bigger, I want it to be very close, very personal, and make sure that I can give everything that I have to see that you're successful. Okay. Any other questions from anybody? I think I've just about answered all of them. Thank you, David, for your wishes for my birthday. I'm pretty sure that Jenny's got something planned for me tonight. I hope so. The staff kindly got me a nice chocolate Bavarian today. So, guys, what clients do you have in Auckland, New Zealand? Well, we've actually just licensed the rights for Streetsmarts to New Zealand. Mal's actually over there right now, knocking them dead. So we've replicated what we have here in Australia over in New Zealand, and a gentleman called Dimitri runs the New Zealand division. So we are expanding worldwide. New Zealand was our first stop. Axel says Stern's okay. Yeah, look, he was with BBI. We had to trust the person. We've known Dimitri for a very long time, and he is as straight as an arrow. As I said, our main priority is our reputation. Because without your reputation with the people that know you, what have you got? So we can't risk making false promises to people. All right, guys. Well, look, put your link in there. Those of you that are registered, I hope you got a lot out of this training session, and I look forward to talking to those of you that feel this is the right path. Oh, wait on, I've got a few more questions. Okay. Oh, Sharon. Okay, Sharon Coates just sent me a message. Sharon, look, just book in a call. I'm happy to have a chat to you. There's always solutions. Doesn't matter what the problem is, there's always a solution, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. Tony, in talking about the income you suggested you might make, you were reflecting upon businesses that turn over about 5 mil, but then talked about the number of businesses in yellow pages, the number size, which is reflect a majority, often yet it may be unlikely to spend $3,000 a month. Or do I have this wrong? Tony, the example that I gave you is a very practical example. Tony's wondering if there are enough businesses that meet that criteria where you'd be able to generate that sort of result. Now, I say first and foremost, you've got to go out there and do what I ask you to do, but I kid you not, the businesses that are out there, they are screaming for your help, and the answer to your question is yes, Tony. You will. That is a fairly practical example of the typical sort of business. Even if they were doing $2 million in turnover, the numbers will still be very similar. That remuneration is so understated. But then again, I don't want to overstate it. okay, because I don't want it to sound ridiculous. You do have to do work to make good money. Okay. All right then. Well, look, I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Great talking to you, answering your questions. I'll talk to those of you that have registered, and those of you that haven't, I'll see you all around. Thanks for your time, everyone. I'll end this off now.